A very good afternoon to you, audience. Thank you so much for joining us on OGTV Midday News. I'm Shemilori Makonju. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala takes over the World Trade Organization today amid hopes that she will spur the beleaguered body into addressing its towering challenges, including the pandemic-fueled global economic crisis. The World Trade Organization is too important to allow it to be slowed down, paralyzed, and moribund. The first woman and first African to ever lead the global trade body said. The 66-year-old Nigerian former finance minister takes the World Trade Organization was left adrift for 7 months following the sudden departure of Brazilian career diplomat Roberto Azevedo last August. A year ahead of schedule, delegates are expected to agree that the organization's next ministerial conference, which had been scheduled for last year but was postponed due to pandemic, will be held in Geneva in December. Contrary to speculations of imminent increase in the price of petroleum motor spirit petrol, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has ruled out any increment in the ex-depot price of petrol in March 2021. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, stated it was not contemplating any raise in the price of petrol in March in order not to jeopardize ongoing engagements with organized labor and other stakeholders on an acceptable framework that will not expose the ordinary Nigerian to any hardship. NNPC also cautioned petroleum products marketers not to engage in arbitrary price increase or hoarding of petrol in order not to create artificial scarcity and unnecessary hardship for Nigerians. Unity, tranquility, and harmony can only be achieved in a peaceful society, hence the need for people to cohabit peacefully. Ogun State Chairman, Peacekeeping Committee on Farmers' Herdsmen Conflict, Honorable Kayode Oladele, stated this during the flag-off of palliative distribution to the affected people of farmers' herdsmen crisis in Egua and Asha in Yewa North local government area of the state. Yusuf Ganil reports.
The Peacekeeping Committee on Farmers' Herdsmen Conflict, inaugurated by the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, is expected to unravel activities that often led to the farmers' herdsmen crisis in the state. The committee, led by its chairman, Honorable Kayode Oladele, was in Egua and Asa in Yewa North local government area to flag off the distribution of palliatives to cushion the effect of the farmers' herdsmen crisis on the affected people in the area.
The entire community of Ketu land, I am expressing my appreciation of this great, very great and concerned step which our governor has taken as palliative measure.
The Peacekeeping Committee further noted that Ogun Western Interior District used to be one of the peaceful areas, adding that everything possible will be done to ensure that the unity and harmony are restored for peaceful coexistence in the country.
Section 14 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, only security and welfare of the people shall be the primary responsibility of government. This is why this committee was set up. This is why the governor is particular about it, because we want to ensure security. We want to ensure that we also provide adequate welfare for the people that are affected.
The subcommittee chairman on palliative and commissioner for budget and planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabeto, said the distribution of the palliatives showed that the state government is not leaving any stone unturned, particularly in terms of the welfare of its people. After his visit to Asa community, Honorable Kayode Oladele addressed journalists on the next line of action towards protests between the farmers and herdsmen.
Everybody is really appalled with what has happened, particularly when you consider the fact that this is an unprovoked attack. But as it were, we are a committee. We don't want to preempt what will be the committee's report. But what we have come to do is to have an on-the-spot assessment of what has really happened. And from what we've seen so far today, a lot had been destroyed. We've seen destruction of properties, houses, cars, motorbikes, and so many things. And people have also complained to us about even their inability to go to their farms. Therefore, that has also increased a lot of the proportion of famine and hunger in the land. And I believe it's one of the reasons why we're here.
The Peacekeeping Committee also emphasized that the root causes of the clashes will be looked into, as well as find a lasting solution for peace to reign. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The federal government has confirmed that Nigeria will receive the first tranche of the COVID-19 vaccine on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. This is according to the chairman of the Presidential Task Force (PTF) on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa. He said this on Saturday in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. The PTF chairman, who also doubles as the secretary to the government of the Federation (SGF), explained that the first shipment of 3,024,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines is coming from COVAX, a World Health Organization-backed initiative set up to procure and ensure equitable distribution of vaccines for free among countries across the globe.
The vaccines are coming, and they are coming very quickly, bearing any change in the delivery plan that has been released to us by UNICEF. Our vaccines are supposed to, like I said, bearing any change, because the logistical arrangements and other things are in the hands of the UNICEF. We believe that our vaccines should depart India on the 1st of March 2021 at 10:30 p.m. in the night and arrive Abuja on the 2nd of March 2021 at about 11:10 a.m. in the morning.
In the month, the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hanire, had confirmed that Nigeria will be getting the COVAX vaccine in March and explained that the federal government is targeting to vaccinate 70% of the population. Meanwhile, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and United Nations Children's Fund said the vaccination of Nigerians against COVID-19 would start with frontline healthcare workers. The Executive Director of the agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, and UNICEF country representative in Nigeria, Peter Hawkins, who stated this in a joint statement, said Nigeria had planned to vaccinate at least 70% of eligible Nigerians aged 18 years and above in 4 phases within 2 years. The Primary Healthcare Agency assured Nigerians that Nigeria had facilities to store the vaccine. Nigeria is scheduled to take delivery of 3.92 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine on Tuesday. According to the agency and UNICEF, the delivery will mark the first arrival in Africa. The representative of World Health Organization in Nigeria, Dr. Walter Kazadi Mulombo, said vaccines are a critical tool in the battle against COVID-19. In the meantime, Nigerians must continue to take steps to contain the virus, as the vaccination program will take at least a year before it is fully effective. The delivery of the AstraZeneca vaccine is part of an overall 16 million doses planned to be delivered to Nigeria in batches by the COVAX facility as part of an unprecedented global effort to ensure equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines. But a former president of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Abdurrauf Adeniji, has described 3.9 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine as grossly inadequate. The Lagos State government has further extended the work-from-home directive to civil servants on salary grade levels 12 and below. A statement issued by the head of service, Mr. Akim Muri Okunla, said this in a bid to further stem the spread of COVID-19 within the public service and other stakeholders. He expressed the government's delight that measures put in place to curb the spread of COVID-19 in the state has resulted in a steady decline in the number of recorded cases in the preceding weeks. Mr. Muri Okunla maintained that in order to sustain the success so far recorded, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reviewed the directive of all public servants on salary grade levels 12 and below for 4 weeks, with effect from Monday 1st to Friday 26th March 2021. The head of service said the directive does not preclude any of the exempted grade levels from reporting for duty whenever the accounting officers deem it necessary. The Nigeria Rail plans together to operate 16 trips daily along the Lagos-Ibadan Rail when it is fully operational. Managing Director of the corporation, Fidet Oyekia, said there is a plan to increase current daily frequency from 1 trip to 2. He said the train will be able to stop at Lagos, Agege, Abeokuta and Ibadan, while people can then buy tickets at Agege. He added that the corporation will introduce one from Lagos in the morning, while another one will leave Lagos in the evening with additional stoppage stations. Okiria explained that work had begun on e-ticketing for Lagos-Ibadan and should be expected in 6 months' time. He also added that the rail service to ports had resumed, noting that 13 overhead bridges would be built within Lagos alone. Now to foreign news. Donald Trump says he has no plan to launch a new political party, telling a conservative conference in Florida that it would split the Republican vote. In his first speech since Democrat Joe Biden became president, he also hinted that he might run for office again in 2024. Mr. Trump strongly criticized his successor, saying U.S. policy had gone from America first to America last. The speech comes weeks after Mr. Trump was acquitted in an impeachment trial. The former president remains banned from social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter, over his response to January's deadly riots at the U.S. Capitol. Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi has been seen by her lawyer for the first time since she was detained during a military coup a month ago. Ms. Suu Kyi, who appeared in court via video links, appeared to be in good health and asked to see her legal team, her lawyer said. 2 new charges were announced against Ms. Suu Kyi, who was arrested after the February 1st coup. Meanwhile, protesters took to the streets again despite Sunday seeing the deadliest day yet with 18 killed. The deaths came as the military and police ramped up their response to demonstrations across the Southeast Asian nation over the weekend, firing into the crowds. Jamaican sprint superstar Yohan Blake has revealed his anti-coronavirus vaccine views after making shock comments that he would rather miss the Tokyo 2020 Olympics than get the jab. Blake, who won silver in the 100 meters and 200 meters at London 2012 and gold in the 100-meter relay in 2012 and Rio 2016, made the comments after organizers in Japan unveiled their plans to ensure athletes' security with beefed-up health protocols. But the 31-year-old athlete remains unconvinced and said his mind still stays strong. Organizers have said that as it stands, athletes won't need to be vaccinated to compete in Tokyo, but non-compliance with the strict safety protocols will see them ejected from the competition. Among the rules put in place are bans on singing, hugging, and shaking hands. Athletes must also avoid physical contact in the Olympic Village. Athletes will be tested for COVID-19 every 4 days. Competitors and officials can only leave their accommodation to go to official venues, and they cannot use public transport.